Hey,
All right, Eddie.
hey, how you doing, Ted?
Good, good. I'm sorry I put the wrong time zone up there on the meeting. So my apologies.
That's
We're
totally
recording now, so I'm going to let the whole world know that I messed you up, and I owe
that's
you.
okay.
I can't let you skip a lap at the race, but I'll find some other way to repay you.
All right, great, sounds good. Hey, is that background real back there?
That's the cabins, but I am not there right now.
Oh, okay.
That's your view when you got there in the transition. Um, you probably still had daylight for one lap, I guess, right? Maybe, or dusk.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So you saw that view. If you were just leaving the start finish arch, and instead of looking up to your right toward the parking lot, if you had looked directly to your left, that would be the view you would have had if you remember the lake and the cabins there.
I do, yeah. Because across the lake is the turnaround point for the night course, right? All the way across
Yeah. So that would be, oh, wait,
back
right
there.
there is the bridge, which is about there is the bridge, which is the turnaround 2.09 miles away uh, for the night loop. So yes, you're exactly right.
Excellent. Yeah, which I never would have been able to tell doing the course because I don't know, just it disoriented. When I was told that, I was like, no way. But that's really cool, actually.
Yeah. So what's nice is at night when we just did the May race, and over there we would send everybody off, and then you could see the lights when they got on that, because on the bridge it's open to the water and you could see all the way to the cabin, so we could see their headlights bobbing along. Then further up here in the woods, it looked like twinkling stars every once in a while, because
Oh, that's really cool.
while a light would get right through the tree leaves. And so we sat there, and it was pretty magical watching that. So if it's a clear night, no fog or anything, then the same thing will happen to us when I hope you'll be running and either having your headlight on or off, however you choose. You just need to have it with you
Yeah.
to enjoy the night laps. You got to let everybody know you consumed 6 of the night laps, I believe, if I'm right, because
Oh, well,
25
actually,
miles, right?
we I believe because the day started off with the thunderstorms that we started the race 1 hour later. So I think we did 7, and then we did 11 laps of the day loop, and then we switched an hour. I mean, at the normal time, but I think we would have done one less loop because we started at 10 instead of 9. So I got 7 in, I believe.
That's right. You're exactly right. Yes. So by the time you got your 75 miles, you had been through 7 of the road loops. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice. I gypped you there in scoring. It's a good thing you're on the ball here. So
Yeah.
yeah, you were tied for 7th in last year's race. We're really happy to have you back. Why don't you let us know where you're talking to us from?
I'm talking to you from my kitchen in Santa Barbara, California.
So I think you are our traveling distance winner so far in the history of the Ode. That's fantastic. So we are very honored that you would go this far for some crazy race. And when you did last year, I don't want to say what were you thinking, because we're honored and we know what you're thinking. It's a cool event.
Oh, that's so cool.
Had you heard about the Ode before that, or were you on Alter Sign Up and looking for a backyard that fit in your time schedule? What did you know about the course and the race before you showed up?
Um, well, I was familiar with the format of the race, and I actually was, yeah, I believe I was looking for that type of race, a last man standing backyard ultra, and I saw that there was one in Michigan, and I think I scheduled it back in December, and it was scheduled originally for July, and I was super excited because I've got a lot of family in Michigan, and so I just kind of tied the two together, and that's how I had planned it. But had I heard of the Ode before? No, I hadn't heard of it, and none of my family in Michigan were even really familiar with ultras at all. Uh, So they hadn't like told me about it or yeah.
And have you run a lot of ultras?
No, no, no. I actually, funny, I kind of jumped in the totally non-recommended way to jump into ultras. I ran my first race was in October of like 2019 trail run, and it was just a 25K, and it was in a little north of here in Los Osos, and that was my very first trail run race really, and I ended up winning it, and it got me super pumped. And then I scheduled my next race, and my next race was a 24-hour race in January of 2020. And so I went from, running 15 miles to entering a 24-hour race. And I ended up doing 102 miles in that 24-hour race. So that was my first ultra was that, doing 102 miles.
Sub 4 for your first 100 miles ever in competition, and only your second race.
Yeah.
A year after getting into this. You're quite a talented runner, Eddie. So I got to tell you that. So
Yeah,
that's
you.
pretty amazing feat. What did you learn in that 100-mile race that you carried into the Ode, the backyard style?
Well, I made a lot of mistakes that first race. I ran the first like pretty much 60 miles, and I was wearing minimalist shoes, and my legs were blown out. And it was a loop. It was in Bakersfield. It was a 1 mile loop out of high school, and there was about 5 curbs in that race. And that first 50, 60 miles running these curbs completely destroyed my knees. I started, after I couldn't run, I was speed walking. After I couldn't speed walk, I was just walking. And I had to like sidestep down these curves. They were like they were my bane. Just every time I approached one, because I was just torn up. I learned minimalist shoes are good to train in. Don't run a long distance race for me in them, and pace yourself. Actually, I ran with this guy. He was Ed Eddinghausen, and he actually now holds the record for most 100-mile races. I think he's in like 207. And I did a couple laps with him, and I kind of learned, just pacing yourself. You can get pretty far walking. Like I walked my last 40 miles practically, and so if I now would have incorporated, walking during my first 50 or 60, I wouldn't have been so torn up, and I would have been so miserable. I pushed myself in that race way past where especially my girlfriend was comfortable with me pushing myself. But yeah. So pace yourself. Don't go out all gung ho and think you can just if you can keep up that running pace the whole thing. So and this kind of format is perfect for that. There's so much walking involved. I love it.
And what is your best piece of advice that you've heard from anyone about backyard running? And did you get that before you showed up last year?
Oh, no, I don't know if I've got too much advice, or pulled too much from videos I've watched. People go about it with different strategies and how much time you want to have during your break back at some people like to have the most minimum amount of time. They pace themselves for just having 5 minutes left in between. I found that about having 8 minutes left was the pace I was just comfortably coming in at, and I don't know, I definitely do enjoy the eating. Eating throughout the day. I don't really know, but this time I heard something that kind of caught my attention was, we talked about this on the phone, was that in Great Britain, they just ran one of the races and they had the record now, 338 miles. But one thing this guy did was he was closing his eyes while he walked, so that when he got back, he was setting himself up for like going to sleep like right away, like setting himself, get, his body ready to fall asleep. And I didn't have the opportunity to fall asleep last time. I plan on going more than 75 miles this time, but, and kind of the idea of sleeping in between seems kind of foreign to me, but I think maybe closing my eyes for a little while in between might be nice, and getting that power nap in. But hopefully I can make it that far and be that tired.
Like I do on most of the night loops.
Oh, is that what you do?
Oh yeah, I power nap. Yep. I barely awake to blow the whistle and write numbers down. So I might you during the night, but I'll be power napping. That's for sure. I might be napping for 2 and 3 hours at a time. I try to stay awake, but it's very difficult. So
Yeah.
really can't understand how you runners do this with no sleep. That's what's mind-boggling to me, especially when you see these guys that just went 81 hours. I understand they're trying to take micro naps, but boy, if I miss 3 hours from my normal bedtime, I'm a wreck. How do you do that when you're accumulating just 7-8 minutes at a time? Even if you do that for 12 of the laps, that's still only an hour and a half of sleep in a 24-hour period. So hats off to y'all for being able to run for a whole day. I mean, it's amazing. It's incredible. I don't understand how you do it. Do you have a guilty snack that you only eat on race days?
No, I'm kind of, I eat like energy bar, power bar, Cliff bars, every day pretty much for work. And I ate a lot of them last year during race day. So probably go with the same thing, that whatever you guys supply. I think I had maybe a hot dog. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, we'll have the hot dogs and hamburgers again, and chips and kind of potato salad and something like that. We have we're happy to announce, we just announced online that Tailwind is sponsoring us, so we will have the Mandarin Orange and then the Raspberry Buzz caffeinated for you if you're a Tailwind user. We also have Parker's Hilltop Brewery at 2 of the locations with our keg beer again. And then this time at the main start finish line, we're going to have Pigeon Hill Brew, and there's going to be the Pigeon Hill Challenge. You'll just have to find out on race day what that is. So you'll like it. It might be good for you.
yeah.
Do you have any special shoe and sock change strategy? I haven't been asking this a lot, but I just asked this in one I did right for you, and it was a real interesting answer. How about your plans for shoes and socks?
I'm probably going to switch out with a little more frequency than I did last time. I think in the 18 hours, I might have switched out just twice. So I might have gone through 3 pairs of socks. I might do a little more maybe every 3 hours, every 3 or 4 hours. And then I just have a trail shoe, and then I have a road shoe. And that's what I did last time. I think I'll do the same. I kind of already have my shoes picked out for them. Yeah. A little more frequent.
What if we get mud? What if it's raining and we have mud? Are you going to bring?
Yeah, the only thing I'm really concerned about is like I like the weather we had last time. It started off with thunderstorms, and it was pretty cool for most of the morning into the afternoon. I think maybe the sun really started coming out around 3 or 4, and we started getting some heat. But it was pretty nice weather, and so I'm praying that we don't have a heat wave going on in the middle of this thing, and no mosquitoes. And I did live in Michigan for 3 years. I know you guys get a lot of mosquitoes, and I do visit, but last year, fortunately, there was no mosquitoes, and hopefully this year it's not an issue again.
Well, bring your mosquito repellent. So you'll need that for all the general bugs. And you're right.
Yeah.
Some days there are, some days they're not, more a wind thing. But I have a feeling we're going to be right in black fly weather. And for that, you need the tread knot black fly patches. You need to wear a light runner's hat and put that patch on the back of your hat. That's the only way to take care of those. They don't respond. They're a sight hunter, like horse flies. They don't respond to anything smell or any of the wristbands or anything like that. So some people might say different, but they're full of crap. So you need your tread knot deer fly patches. You can get those on Amazon. So that's something to definitely be prepared.
Thank you for that. I would
of course,
not.
If you get here Friday, Complete Runner will be open till 8 for anything you forgot. So I want to plug another one of our sponsors and let everybody know that's watching this and watching Eddie. The folks at Complete Runner are fantastic. They will once again sponsor the Overlook. So you were at Overlook. You at the top of the stairs. You started last year at Overlook, didn't you? For your first laps.
Perhaps I don't really. That sounds familiar.
Do
Yeah.
you remember the Stairway to Heaven?
Yeah. That's where we started. Yep.
Yeah, right. So you actually had to go up those stairs and then go 30 yards to finish your loop, right?
That's right.
Yeah. So you were at Overlook, and that was sponsored by Complete Runner. They'll be doing that again. So and if you need anything the night before, they have cut within 12-minute drive a couple of full service running shops that have all the best stuff. So you're in luck if you forget anything. But I've got some quick. Oh, one last question. Did you run in 70s retro gear last year or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I
couldn't remember if you did.
Maybe I'll that online, but that sounds like fun. So maybe this year.
Yeah, it's fun. If you remember, you need a lot of socks. So I've got some lightning round questions for you, if you don't mind.
Sure.
What's your favorite band?
Jeez, this came out of I was not expecting. What's my favorite band?
You don't have to have one.
Oh, okay. I don't even. Let's just go with Bob Marley. Yeah.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Ice cream, mint and chip. Yep.
Mint chip. Cousin Eddie or Clark Griswold?
Cousin Eddie or Clark Griswold. I'll go with Clark Griswold.
Chatty or not chatty during the race?
Moments chatty, but mostly not chatty. I kind of just get into the zone.
Swedish Fish or Sour Patch Kids?
See, I'm not really a candy guy. I'm a chocolate guy. But if I was to go with those two, probably Swedish Fish.
Man, I cannot believe how in the interviews how much Swedish Fish is just killing Sour Patch Kids so far.
Really?
Yeah. Well done, medium or rare?
Well done, medium or rare. Given those choices, I'm a medium rare guy, but I guess I could go medium.
You could say medium rare.
Medium rare.
You can throw in the adjusted answer.
Okay.
Porta John or Bushes?
Wait, say it again. Porta John?
Porta John, Porta Potty, or Bushes?
Oh, definitely a Bushes guy for
favorite donut.
Favorite donut. I'm kind of an old-fashioned donut guy. Yeah.
You're the first. Well, okay, we did have another that was sour cream glazed, which I kind of put in that category because typically the sour cream glazed is the old-fashioned style that cooks up and cracks apart and all that. But I'm an old-fashioned guy with you, so I'm glad there's at least one of us out there.
Yeah.
Little Debbie or Mr. Kipling's?
Little Debbie, I'm not even familiar with Mr. Kipling's, so I guess Little Debbie.
Huh? Well, there you go. We're going to have another vote for Little Debbie. So now you've been patient enough to answer all my questions. You get to ask me one. Anything you want. You can even ask more. Don't ask me who's going to win. I can't comment on that. I don't even know anyway. But do you have any questions for me?
I mean, if the last 2 years are any evidence of who's going to win, I kind of have a perhaps hunch who may win again this year, but hopefully I can be in some later rounds with her.
Any question. Doesn't have to be about who's going to win. You don't have to ask a question, but it's just fair that since I pepper you with some questions.
Okay, yeah, here's one. How did you get into organizing an ultra event like this?
That's a great question. So right behind me there, I started inviting my friends in an online multi-sport club, TRS Racing. Then it became Rooster Endurance. And I started inviting my friends out to come see Michigan. I was really proud of this park, and I thought it was a beautiful park. And I trained there almost most days of the week. And the park director said, sure, if you rent the cabins out, I don't care if you put up a buoy course in that lake. It would be a private lake. The other lake on the other side of the bridge that you turn around on, that has a public swim beach and stuff like that. He said, yeah, you can swim there, put buoys in, you can ride your bikes around, run on the trails, anything you want, have a blast. So started doing that. And one year, one of the team managers, a guy named Eric Swanson, and I were talking about Lazarus Lake, talking about the Barkley, and Eric is a Barkley guy and wants to run those races. And we were talking about how cool the backyard format was. And during our conversation, it became apparent that we could have a hell of a lot of fun sitting in that cabin right there, drinking beer all day, watching whoever felt like running loops all day long. And we didn't even have to move. We could have a great time. And watching our rooster friends suffer so badly as they went round and round every hour would just be hysterical in our minds. So we said, great, let's do it. So we planned it, and I called it the Ode to Laz. And out of politeness, I reached out to Lazarus Lake, Gary Cantrell. Didn't know him. I reached out on Facebook, and he's the nicest man in the world. He and his wife are so friendly. They are so willing to share knowledge and information. He responded back in 15 minutes and said, you ought to just put that up on Ultra Sign Up. You've already done all the work of a race director. Just put it up. It'll sell out. So I answered back, well, okay, thanks, but I'm not a race director. And he answered back and he said, look, all you have to do is not lose a runner. That's all you have to do to direct a backyard ultra. And I thought about it and I was like, yeah, he's got a good point. So did it. And then next thing you know, it's the Ode to Laz, and it's a legit race. So that's how it all started.
Excellent.
That's a good question. So
Yeah,
we'll be doing our multi-sport stuff for the 3 days before the event. So if you're here early, don't be afraid to stop by. I'm sure you can have some fun and laughs watching us do what we do, or jump in the water yourself and do those things and use it as a shakeout day to get rid of all that stiffness from your travels. So come on out and see us, and we'll be doing the things that we did that were the birth of the Ode to Laz. So,
excellent. Cool.
that's how it came about.
Nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Hey, one more thing. I'm kind of excited that there's going to be more contestants this year.
Yeah, we're right now. Now we're at the phase where lots of people, the day of reckoning is coming, so people are starting to pull their registrations out, right? And that happens a lot in these races because people have to train so hard, and a lot of injuries happen leading up to a race. So I think we're hovering right around 170 participants. We got room for 200, but this will certainly be more than you were used to. You were one of the kind souls that raced anyway last year, even due to COVID. We had to split in half, and I think we only had a 25 or 26 at each location, right? You had a group of about that. So this time at each of 3 locations, we'll probably end up having 50 to 60. So it'll feel like about double the participants to you for the first 12 hours. So,
excellent. Very cool.
Room for that much. And it'll just make it that much more social for you for your first 12 laps, and then you'll move to the cabins. I know you're going to get there and knock this thing out of the park.
Yeah, that's the plan. Yeah.
All right. Well, Eddie, thank you. I hope you have safe training and safe travels to come all this way to visit us. We are honored that you're coming from California, so that's nice, and we look forward to you one of these years bringing many more California friends out with you. We hope news spreads, and we'll try to make room for more. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Ted.
Yep.